Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another review, and this was another request via PayPal. And it was from Vonte, who wanted me to do a commentary on Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. So, let's get into it. Thank you once again. If people want to request any type of video, review, re-review, commentary, reaction, what have you, send in the request either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And let's get into it. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. A Terror Inc. production. We have the thunder and lightning as we're going to be introduced. This is for timing purposes. We have Crystal Lake Woods, showcasing the look of the film, and then we have this wild dog eating scraps. You piece of shit, get the fuck off the road. And there's the hockey mask, and there's Horseshack. Ron Palillo, may you rest in peace. Welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. There's Tom Matthews. But Tom McLaughlin's the guy who directed this. Now, yeah, the film. What more can I say about this right off the bat? I am a fan of this film. It is my third favorite Friday the 13th film. Because while this is going on, my history of Friday the 13th, I did not know much about it when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I grew up more with Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street, which I very much enjoy that franchise. One of the first things I saw was the Joe Bob Briggs Dusk to Dawn Friday the 13th marathon, where they had 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 on TNT's Monster Vision. I think before that I saw the unrated VHS of Jason Goes to Hell. That was technically the first one I saw, which maybe is one of the reasons why that is my favorite. But Jason Goes to Hell, anytime I say that's my favorite, I always get people saying, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck. Well, Jason's not in it. Well, Jason's not in the first movie, and technically Jason's not in part 5. If you're talking about the hockey mask is not in part 2. So, there's a shitty Jason in Freddy vs. Jason, if that counts. Goddamn Frankenstein monster wannabe. There's a Ronnie Hughes and people's dumbasses. So, I love the aspects of the hidden. I love the gore. I love John D. LeMay's character. It was fun. It was fast-paced. I love Jason Goes to Hell. I love the almost Terminator vibe. Terminator, the hidden vibe I get from it. I still enjoy that film. I enjoy it even now because of his uniqueness. Because, you know what? There's only so many times I can see Jason kill people in the woods. I saw him do it with no hockey mask in part 2. I saw him do it with a hockey mask in part 3. I saw him do it with a hockey mask in part 4. I saw someone else do it with a hockey mask in part 5. I saw him do it in this. I saw him do it in part 7. So with the hockey mask, 3, 4, 6, 7. I still enjoy those films because of various reasons, but I'm fine with them doing something different. But hey, maybe that's why some people, like, to me, the true piece of shit is part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Because that did not deliver what the fuck. Like, Jason Goes to Hell delivers on his title. Jason Goes to Hell. Jason Takes Manhattan? He doesn't take Manhattan. Doesn't even take a piss, let alone take Manhattan. You want to see a good version of that? Watch Maniac Cop 2. But yeah, before I go on to this, one of the reasons I enjoy this film, I would say this is my third favorite after Jason Goes to Hell and then Part 7, The New Blood, is I love what Tom McLaughlin, the director, did with this. I love that he wanted to do sort of a universal horror film mixed in with Jason Voorhees. Even the way Jason comes back is similar to Frankenstein with the lightning and Jason rising from the grave. Granted, part of me is like, Tom Matthews, you fucking idiot. If it wasn't for him, Jason would still be dead. I mean, Jason's there. He's dead meat, pal. He's dog food. He's mad at a buffet. You brought him back, so all the people that die in part 7, 8, 9, 10, Freddy vs. It's all because of you and your sorry ass. Well, Freddy vs. Jason, that's because of Freddy Krueger, but the others, it's because of your sorry ass. You fucked up, but he does say, I fucked up. He didn't do it on purpose. He's trying to do the best that he can. That's why I can let it go, but it's always one of those things that's funny that I do gotta say, it is his fault. He brings Jason back to life because of his dumbassness. And I personally would have preferred it if it was some other way. Even if it was some coincidence, like he wants to burn him, and then for some reason you have a couple people fucking around Jason's corpse. Like it's Halloween or something. They want to, people doing asshole things. And then Tom Matthews gets there. He sees this happening. He tries to stop it. They knock him down or punch him or something. These assholes did this thing, accidentally bring Jason back. And then Tom Matthews sees this, is like, fuck. I tried to stop him, I was too late. And yeah, you say, well, ain't that been a fucking coincidence? Well, you know what, I would forgive it. Now, of course, they wanted Jason to be brought back because they did kill him off in part 4. Because they wanted to do something different in part 5. And I understand what they were doing in part 5. I liked all the Friday the 13th except part 8. And to an extent Freddy vs. Jason. Because to be honest, I like that more for Robert Englund than Jason. Like, to me, Freddy vs. Jason has one of the shittiest Jason. One of the shittiest Jasons. Especially the worst looking Jason. Like, I think the worst looking Jason is in Freddy vs. Jason. Like, if they had used John Carlbeek's designing the New Blood and have Tina Hatter play him, at least that would have helped. But yeah, I'm going over the place. But yeah, Jason Goes to Hell, I don't care how many people give me shit for it, I still love that film. Part 7, The New Blood, I have a copy of the film that's an uncut version. Just what happened was someone actually they took the uncut footage, they put it back into the film. They made everything look VHS, so it all syncs up together fairly well. It's called the recut uncut. No, the uncut recut. So it all looks like a VHS, but that's so that the uncut footage fits well, and they put music under the uncut footage. So it's like watching an uncut version. And to me, the fact that it's VHS, that's fine, because that's how most of us would have seen this anyway back to the days on VHS tape. And they're Friday the 13th. They're not fucking Blade Runner. They're not The Abyss. They're not Star Trek or Star Wars. Doesn't matter if they're HD. It's fucking Friday the 13th. But yeah, you took out Horseshot's heart. Son of a bitch. Now, I know with this film, like a lot of the stuff was cut out. Apparently there's a moment where Jason would step on the heart after punching it out. Apparently that footage is gone. The other uncut stuff, I think you can see a little bit on some special features, but it's not a tremendous amount of stuff, if that made sense. But yeah, I saw the From Dusk Till Dawn Friday the 13th marathon. And before that, I seen Jason Goes to Hell. But then that made me want to go out and seek out other... Of course, we just passed the very fun opening with Jason, like James Bond. I mean, that's the thing with this film. There's some clever moments like that. Like, let's do it like James Bond. Instead of shooting, he slashes the screen. And that made it give a little bit more life and revitalize the franchise. especially for part 6, is self-referential ideas that apparently, at least this is what Tom McLaughlin, the director, says. He says Kevin Williamson, one of his inspirations for Scream was this film, because how it referenced and self-referenced itself. And Tom McLaughlin doesn't seem like a guy that would make that shit up, so there you go. But yeah, after watching that marathon, I would seek out the films on VHS tape, and like I said, I enjoy... The first one I liked. I think it's a little bit overrated because there's many other Friday the 13th and horror films I enjoy more, but I like the first one. The second one, I like more than the first one, and Amy Steele did a great job. Part 3 is fun with the 3D gimmicks. Tom Matthews, he does a great job here. Of course, he was in The Return of the Living Dead. And, hey, the smart thing, what does he do? He goes right to the cops. I tried to stop it and I fucked up. See, that's the thing why I can let go what happened at the beginning, because he does try to do the right thing. He does try to do the best that he can. He's not perfect. It's a royal fuck up because people don't want to die because of it, but he's trying to do the best that he can. He really fucked up. He goes to the cops. He wants to fix this any way that he can. So he's not a bad person. And Tom Matthews does a good job. It's not a smart idea to try to take a gun right in front of the sheriff. I mean, go buy a gun if that's the case. See, that is where he says, I fucked up. But yeah, as the franchise went on, I like part 2, part 3. Part 3, you get the hockey mask. That's one of my least favorite lead girls, because I'm not a big Dana Kimmel fan. But you get some fun kills because of the 3D gimmick. Part 4, one of the stronger elements, Tom Savini's effects, because he came back. He did the first film. Corey Feldman was in that. Crispin Glover. Entertain bits of dialogue. The computer says you're a dead fuck. The computer don't lie. Part 5, that was heavily cut from the MPAA. That's when the MPAA really started butchering things, was with part 5. And that's a film I would love to see uncut. Because I have seen an uncut version of part 7 of The New Blood. I have it. I uploaded on BitChute and then they stopped it few months later, which is ridiculous because that version's not available anywhere else. I don't know why the fuck Scream Factory couldn't put that on. Oh, speaking of which, I heard that there's issues with the Scream Factory Friday the 13th set, that apparently there's a scene in Jason Goes to Hell that's cut out when the arm breaks. Apparently that scene's cut out of the unrated version. Apparently there's some missing audio in Jason X. And then there's sometimes screwed up with the titles of the Friday the 13th Part 3. At least the 3D version. Or something like that. So, Scream Factory, of course, they can't do something without fucking something up. Good job, Scream Factory. Fucking idiots. But see, this is what I'm talking about with the self-referential. Whenever I see someone with a hockey mask, it's never going to be someone that's friendly. That's not exactly how she says it, but you get the gist. And of course, the other person here is Tony Goldwyn. Tony Goldwyn from Ghost. He was in the remake of Last House on the Left, which was actually not that bad of a remake. Better than the original, honestly. Because the original has a bad shift in tone between, oh, these people are pissing themselves and getting raped. But then let's have this comedy. Tony Dolan, this is where he talks himself to death because he could shoot. I don't know why he has to get 2 feet. He's got to like stand 2 feet in front of Jason. It's a gun. This has something called a range. You could shoot it from far away too. You don't have to stand 2 feet away from him, but gets his ass killed. And this is where you don't get that joke where she gets killed, you have the American Express card, and it stays there because you wait for someone to go, never leave home without it. Then help her ass. Sorry, lady. Jason only wants cash. You don't want fucking credit cards. Can't do shit with it. What do you think? He'd just go in, fucking credit card, ATM machine? Plus, what the fuck do you think Jason's going to buy? What, you think he eats fucking cereal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? What, you don't buy some at McDonald's? Do you imagine McDonald's sponsoring Friday the 13th? Voorhees burgers and Jason fries. Machete shake. What's a machete shake? Well, I don't know. It's a milkshake shaped in the shape of a machete. So you drink it and it looks like you're deep throwing a fucking machete. But yeah, part 5 tried to do something at least a little bit different with the whole mystery angle, even though you knew who the killer was because it was so obvious. And because of, all the gore getting cut out really hurt the film. But I did still enjoy it in its weird exploitation manner. Part 6 is fun. The humor mixed in with the atmosphere. It definitely has that Universal Monster atmosphere with the lighting, the look of the trees, the forest, stuff of that nature. Let's see, part 6, part 7. That's my second favorite. I like the idea of Terry versus Jason. Apparently that was supposed to be Freddy versus Jason, but they couldn't get Freddy and deal with New Line Cinema, so hey, Terry versus Jason. Yeah, John Carl Buechler, may he rest in peace, to direct it. Dan got butchered by the MPAA. They fucked him around a bit. But again, I was able to find an uncut version of it. Part 8 just shit the bed. Yeah, have sewers every night at midnight. Toxic waste goes through the fucking sewers. Are you kidding me? What the shit is that? What the fuck is that about? Fucking stupid. More around the 50 other fucking things to bitch about with that movie. Yes, Crystal Lake. It's called a lake, but somehow the boat goes to the fucking ocean. Great, it takes Manhattan, but he doesn't do shit in New York. Except kick a fucking boombox. Yay. Don't give me the budget shit. Watch Maniac Cop 2. Maniac Cop 2 does a lot fucking more with a killer in New York than this does. Here we get the old man. I need him with that sort of self-referential where he's gonna fix it, and he goes, some folks have a strange... What the hell was the actual dialogue? So some folks have a strange way of entertainment. Now, from what I understand, coming up with the paintballers, there's another guy they hired to play Jason. Which you could tell, because this Jason honestly looks a bit fatter. And I'm no room to talk about that, but I'm just being honest. That Jason seems a bit fatter, plumpier. So he doesn't seem like the other Jason, because the other Jason is a former Marine, C.J. Graham. But I guess I'll talk about that when it gets to it. Here we get, I believe her name is Jennifer Cook. Which she's fairly likable. I know the one guy here is related to John Travolta. I forget if it's his cousin or nephew. I forget. But I know he's related to John Travolta. And the other people are fine. I mean, I can't say anything good or bad about them. They're just fine. It's interesting. This is a movie where You actually have kids at the camp. I remember one person complaining, "Who gives a shit? You really think Jason's going to kill the kids?" No, we're not thinking Jason's going to kill the kids. We're saying it's interesting the fact that all the time people talk about how these are camps for kids, and yet by the sixth film, you actually see fucking kids there. It's like, wow, there's actually fucking kids at a summer camp that's mainly for kids. You, and there's that moment later on where the girl's like praying. And apparently John Shepard, who played Tommy Jarvis in part 5, he was thinking of coming back for this to play Tommy Jarvis again. But by that point, he had become like a born-again Christian or something, so he said no. I think for Jason, they were thinking of the guy in part 4, and he said no. I forget the guy's name. But I think he regrets doing it. Not doing it, I mean. Yeah, you get these paintballer guys. Paintballer fellas. And that's also the interesting thing. See, that's what I mean with the humor is that in a little bit, because I remember the girl shoots them, and then they have like dead, they have to wear like dead on their, around their necks. And that's what I mean. If you look at Jason in these scenes with the paintballs, you see that his body type is fairly different from the rest of the movie. Like I said, this Jason just seems fatter. As we don't get the triple D cap. Not yet, but soon. See, they're wearing the stuff that's called dead. Then you have the one guy, yeah, this guy being pissed off. He's like the most pissed off guy in any of the movies. And he's sexist too, so that's why he's gotta die, I guess. And part of me wonders if some of this is a bit too far. Like throwing the guy into the tree and the face reveals a smiley face. I think part of you wonders, is this a bit too far? Part of you goes, would it be better or worse if they really did just go for a parody of Friday the 13th? Like, how much further would it be to make it a parody? Again, when you hit a face to a tree and it reveals a smiley face, that is something you would see in a Naked Gun movie. So, how far is... I mean, I guess that's up to the viewer. It's a funny gag, I'll say that. It's a funny gag. And then you get the triple D cap. But yeah, Jason just seems a bit plumpier, fatter. But this is before... I forget this guy's name, but the actual guy they did for most of him was C.J. Graham. Because, like, they didn't like this portrayal of Jason, so they got C.J. Graham for the rest of it. It's kind of like Elm Street 2 when they got to... They didn't even, oh, we don't need Robert Englund. So the shower scene in Elm Street 2, they got another guy. You could tell this guy didn't know how the fuck to be Freddy. Because he's standing there as if he's got some... He shit his pants or something. Just moving like the goddamn penguin. And I was like, no, Robert Englund knows how to be Freddy. Just get fucking Robert Englund, so... The C.J. Graham did fine as Jason. Did perfectly fine. I would say the cast did a good job. The Harry Manfredini did the score. Because he would not do the score for 7 or 8. I think that was Fred Mullen, I believe. Oh, and then Friday the 13th. I like Jason X. I think Jason X is a very fun movie. People shit on it. Yes, it's a stupid ideas in space. It's Friday the 13th Part 10. Hell, technically I just say the fucking first movie is dumb. You have a grandma who's 70 years old killing people, lifting them up with 15 arrows. Bing Crosby's nephew, whatever. She's a 70-year-old grandma, and she's throwing people through windows as if they're footballs. No disrespect to Betsy Palmer, but it's not like she was Fred Williamson. Was it like she was Arnold Schwarzenegger, just throw people around like that? But what do I know? But I know originally the film Tom McLaughlin, which at this point had done a film called One Dark Night, which I still haven't seen yet. And he actually go on to do Sometimes They Come Back, which I have reviewed on there. It's a pretty good film for made for TV. If you want, feel free to check out my review. Sometimes They Come Back. And by the way, I have reviewed all the Friday the 13th films. They're on the channel. I reviewed from Friday the 13th 1 all the way to the reboot. I also reviewed Never Hike Alone. That's a really good Friday the 13th fan film. I know they're coming out with a sequel with Jason in the Snow. Very, very curious about that. I mean, the teaser has Jason shooting a bow and arrow and a snow. Fucking A. Hopefully that's in the movie. Hopefully he does shoot a bow and arrow in the movie and it's not just a fucking tease. But yeah, getting to Jason X, I think it was fun for what it was. It was fun, it was entertaining. Yeah, it was goofy and silly. You see that for a lot of shit? I thought it was fun. I thought it was very fun. Let's see, what else did you have? You had Jason X, you had Freddy vs. Jason. It Is What It Is. The Friday the 13th reboot. I thought the Friday the 13th reboot was actually pretty good. Saw it in the theater. Not a bad film. Not a bad film. Considering remakes, reboots, could have been a lot worse. I thought the actor who played Jason did a really good job. And yeah, sorry, I just think of this, wherever the red dot goes, you bang. That's a great line. Great line. Wherever the red dot goes, you bang. She bangs, she bangs. Think of fucking Ricky Martin songs, or whoever the fuck's saying it. Was it Ricky Martin? She bangs, she bangs. Dig 'em up. What, they think I'm some kind of fart head? And then it cuts to the kids, yeah. See, edits like that are pretty clever. See, Tom McLaughlin, fairly underrated director. He hasn't done a ton of stuff, sadly. But, like I said, very talented guy. Seems like a very nice guy, too. Anytime you listen to a commentary or watch an interview with Tom McLaughlin, he seems like such a very nice guy. And yeah, he did a great job with this, because you go into part 6. And yeah, part 5, when it came out, did not do... It did well at the box office, but a lot of people like grumbling, what the fuck? What's this impersonator shit? Where the fuck is Jason? Why? What's this impersonator shit about? And they went, oh shit, like, they're a bit pissed off about this. Let's just bring him back Jason. That's why, like, the only trailer you can find is the teaser. No, that's not true. That's not true. You can find other trailers for it. But the original teaser is just a coffin. It opens, it's empty. And then there's Jason Voorhees. Oh, shit. It's a really cool teaser. It's a simple teaser, but fairly effective teaser. And they did that to show, hey guys, Jason himself will be back. And that's the thing, a lot of people downplay movies like this, but I guarantee you more people have seen and enjoyed movies like this than 10 Oscar-winning movies combined. Or hell, take last year's Oscars. Take all of those movies. what, you did, what, 10 nominations now? I guarantee you more people have seen and enjoyed these Friday the 13th films than those movies combined. Because they're fun, they're entertaining. And you know what? A lot of them are pretty well done for what they're supposed to be and for what they are. And that's the sad thing, is that a lot of these guys, they do these films that are pretty damn good and they're successful, and then they don't really get to do much. Like Tom Matthews, he did for Return of the Living Dead. This movie, it's not like he did 80 movies and became a big star. Look at George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. To me, one of the absolute classics. Those actors didn't get to do anything. What did Ken Foray or Scott Reiniger get to do, or Dylan Ross really get to do afterward? Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. And it's sad. It's like, wow, I'm in a movie that's considered an absolute classic, one of the best of its kind, that didn't equal jobs, that didn't equal riches, and that didn't equal opportunities. And that's really... See, before I go on, originally this was supposed to be like 13 murders, because Tom McLaughlin was like, okay, 13 kills, Friday the 13th. But then the studio's like, we want more kills, so he added these two. The old man getting killed, getting stabbed. And then there's a creepy moment where Jason and then turns and is like, oh shit, and just stabs the couple. They're too slow. Way too fucking slow. And granted, there's nothing incredibly gory about those kills, but hey, you got 3 more kills. There you go. But yeah, I was saying, it's sad that with all that stuff, they doesn't always equal like, you think of all the horror films of the 80s. Think about it, the classics. Actor-wise, Nightmare on Elm Street, Heather Langenkamp. Did Heather Langenkamp do a lot of jobs? Not really. And people were in those sequels, like Lisa Wilcox and, what's his name? Ken Sagos. Did he get a lot of jobs? Not really, sad to say. At least not a lot of big profile jobs. Ashley Lawrence, did she get to do a whole lot after Hellraiser? Doesn't seem like it. Now, if it's by choice, then okay. If it wasn't by choice, then that goes with a lot of these. I mean, these are films considered classics and movies that are watched and enjoyed more than some of these Oscar-winning movies, and yet those actors don't get every opportunity with jobs, but these actors don't get anything. It's just sad when you think about it. Fucking ridiculous, in my opinion. Now, the year that this came out was... Fuck, I forgot what year this came out. Was it 86? I want to say it was 86. But why do I keep thinking it was 87? Fuck, I cannot remember. I cannot fucking remember what year that came out. I'm an idiot. God damn it. I'm gonna look the shit up because I'm a fucking idiot. I can't remember the fucking year. Because I know Part 7 was 88. Because 88 was a great year for horror films. Because you had Elm Street 4, you had Hellraiser 2, you had the Blob remake. Yeah, a lot of great stuff in 88. And then Part 8 was 89. That was a shitty year for sequels. Because you had Friday 8, Elm Street 5, Halloween 5. Yeah, it was 86. Okay. Yeah, 86, man. 1986 was a great year for movies, man. It really was. Like, if you look up, I would probably say 86 is one of my all-time favorite years when it comes to movies. I really do believe that because 86 has one of my favorite Stallone films, Cobra. One of my favorite films of all time, Aliens. You got Big Trouble in Little China. You got, okay, the top 10. Crocodile Dundee, one of my favorite comedies. Karate Part 2, my favorite Karate film. Star Trek 4, my favorite Star Trek film. Aliens, one of my favorite films ever. The Golden Child, my personal favorite comedy. Cobra, Big Trouble in Little China, the remake of The Fly. Maximum Overdrive, which I love. April Fool's Day, one of my favorite slashers, if you want to call it that. Mystery movies, however you want to put it. Big Trouble in Little China, one of my favorite John Carpenter films. Yeah, Choppy Mall. I mentioned Cobra. Club Paradise, my personal favorite Robin Williams film. Critters, great movie. Yet Eye of the Tiger, FX. Firewalker, my favorite Chuck Norris movie. Like 86 for me was a great year for films. Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, although technically 86, but some would say 90. The Hitcher, love The Hitcher. House, Iron Eagle, Jumpin' Jack Flash, my favorite Whoopi Goldberg film. Like I said, Karate Part 2, my favorite Karate Kid film. Manhunter. Probably my favorite film dealing with Hannibal Lecter is Manhunter. Maximum Overdrive, I fucking love Maximum Overdrive. It's just crazy this year for movies. Platoon, Police Academy 3, Rad. That's a fun one, Rad. The Thunder in My Heart. This is Star Trek 4, my favorite Star Trek film. Chainsaw Master 2. What was pretty damn good year for movies. And horror movies as well, because I mentioned Aliens, Short Circuit, that was the one I was thinking of, Short Circuit. I'm like, I know I'm thinking of something else. Short Circuit, I love Short Circuit. So, a lot of great movies for 86. I mean, just to reiterate the horror films. Once I get a list so I don't forget shit. Aliens, April Fool's Day, Choppy Mall, Critters, The Fly, this movie, The Hitcher, House. I don't mind Link. Maximum Overdrive, Night of the Creeps, the Chainsaw Master 2. Aliens in particular, fucking one of the best films ever in my opinion. Another thing to mention with this film is the Alice Cooper stuff. I mean, not only the end song, He's Back, the Man Behind the Mask, which, love that song. One of my favorite songs that's featured in a horror movie. I'll put it that way. And definitely, if you think of a main song for Friday the 13th, it's that song. He's bad, he's the man behind the mask, and he's out of control. Now, of course, we have the scene where you get some fun kills because Now Jason is the superhuman strength. Now he's much more powerful. So you could have him punching a hole through Horseshat's chest and rip out the heart. You could have pushing her face through a fucking wall and you see the imprints. You could have the whole vehicle flip over and then Jason gets out and is standing there like a boss. Now look at me, now look at my dick. What would Jason's dick look like? Probably a rotted piece of fucking worm. Rotted worm and cartilage. With like a little teeny tiny hockey stick for a condom. But anyway, the film, this is a time where Paramount, who I call parapricks because they do a lot of prickish things. For the longest time, they would not release fucking films on Blu-ray that deserved to be on Blu-ray. For the longest time, they wouldn't do shit for Friday the 13th or fuck around and fuck people over. There's still a lot of Paramount films that are still not on Blu-ray. Or, no, let someone else fucking release it. There's a lot of times they call them parapricks. Like The Hunted with Tommy Lee Jones. That's a Paramount film. That doesn't have a Blu-ray. Another 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy. Hell, the first 48 Hours deserves a special edition. But it's Paramount, parapricks. I'm trying to remember if they did Stakeout with Richard Dreyfuss. Maybe not. Anyway, there's a lot of films still only on DVD. No respect, because Paramount are parapricks. Fucking assholes. But anyway. But yeah, such the Stream Factory, apparently they fucked up the Blu-ray set. I'm like, I'm not fucking surprised, man. They always fuck up. They fuck up a lot, man. Come on, Sheriff, don't be a goofy goober. You're a goofy goober, Dad. You're a goofy goober, Dad. Stop being a fucking goofy fucking goober. Sheriff, cut your hair and brush your teeth. I gotta say, it's probably not too hard. Might not have been too tough a job for Tom Matthews because for a good chunk of this film, he's just in a jail cell, just hanging. All he has to do is hang out. They left her alone. Well, to be fair, by this time he's out and about. To be fair. As he gets all these books. And that's the thing, you look in the background, you look at certain stores, certain streets, there's a lot of references to the old school Universal Monster stuff. Which Tom McLaughlin's a big fan of. Yeah, there ain't shit for this police station. There's what, 2 people, that's it. There's the sheriff and there's the Red Dot Ya Bang guy. No, there's another guy because he gets hit with a ninja star later on. Well, not really a ninja star, but I just say that because he throws it like a fucking ninja. Sorry, I'm trying to think what else to say. I mean, it's a movie that, like I said, when you get into a part 6, you could be open to experimentation, but then that's also the in a weird way excitement where you can try to go in different directions, but also the worry and in a way the fear of don't overstep your bounds, don't overdo it, don't jump the gun so much that it becomes. But then part of you wants it to jump the gun to see what comes out of it. Some happy accident comes out of it. But yeah, when Jason gets into the campsite, makes you think of the video game. Which cabin is Jason in? Is he going to kill those kids at that time? I hated that fucking game for Nintendo. I hate it. I still think that game's a piece of fucking dog shit. I mean, you're fighting fucking bats, you're fighting fucking zombies, and all this other stupid shit. And you have the same stupid ass music. I'm just thinking that they find the last paintballer and you just see body parts. The poor sumbitch. But yeah, that whole Friday the 13th video game is such a piece of fucking shit. Oh yeah, go into a cave and then you gotta fight Jason's mom. Maybe they get the fucking sweater. You gotta do these fucking loopholes to do this fucking thing. Fucking annoying as fucking piss. And that game, I don't know how the fuck you're supposed to figure it out without a goddamn guide. Well, I guess back in the day with Nintendo, you supposedly have nothing else to do but try to find random shit for the game. And get fucking lucky, I guess. Now, of course, when you have people getting killed in this camp, you have the woman that just pulled out and then gets her head ripped off, pretty much. And then you have that poor lady that didn't do anything wrong, but she got like the worst death where they literally paint the walls red with her body. I'm like, what the fuck did this girl do that pissed you off so much, Jason? Did someone answer me that? When that happens, did someone answer me what the fuck did that girl do that was so heinous that Jason literally paints the walls red with her body? Like, I don't even think you see her body. You just see all the fucking blood that looked like 18 people died there, but it's just this one person. I mean, how much fucking blood is in a body? Literal paint the walls red. What the fuck? And no, I've never played the newer Friday the 13th video game. I just don't have the system for it. I don't play stuff on my PC because it's a laptop, and laptop doesn't really do well with gaming. Well, maybe it's fine with simple gaming, but not advanced gaming. That's why people don't usually use laptops. They use desktops more for that, because it just handles better. Which makes sense, because with a desktop you have a big old fucking thing that can help with memory, and a laptop is much smaller. And I'm trying to think what else. They really haven't made a whole lot of video games with Friday the 13th. Unless you're talking about like they put Jason, like putting them into Mortal Kombat or whatever the fuck. Which I know they put Rambo in the Mortal Kombat, like I gave a fuck. Not just anyone who told me, because they know I'm a fan of Rambo, but I'm like, I don't give a fuck, because I don't play Mortal Kombat. I don't play... The last video game system I played was, what, PS3? Yeah, PS3. And I haven't played video game in half a year. Long fucking time. So we got Tom Matthews, Jennifer Cook riding on, and then we're going to get that car chase where he's got his head between her legs, which is not a bad position. I don't blame him. I envy him. And she's forceful too, like she forces him into her crotch. I'm like, you lucky some bitch. You lucky fuck. Being between Jennifer Cook's legs and being forced in there. Salute. Do the carpets match the drapes? Is there any scent? Is the loading dock in place? But that's the thing with Friday the 13th films is you look at it, you go, what more can you do with the subject, with the material? Fan films are one thing. They're fan films, okay. But I know with the whole lawsuit, it doesn't affect me, so part of me is like, I don't care. I honestly don't care who wins. Although the more I hear about Sean Cunningham, the more he sounds like a fucking douchebag, to be perfectly honest. Sean Cunningham sounds like a fucking douchebag. I remember there's this guy named Pizzo, very nice guy. His first name is Justin. But he has a YouTube channel, Pizzowell, Pizzo. And he did an interview with Adam Marcus, who did the directing duties of Jason Goes to Hell. And man, he told about Sean Cunningham, this close to giving the riot act, and it sounds like for good reason. And a lot of what Adam Marcus said makes sense. Like, he mentions how Sean Cunningham is not a fan of horror films. He's not a fan of Friday the 13th, really, because he never wanted this to be his gig. Which, as many times as you hear about the making of Friday the 13th, what does Sean Cunningham want to do? The soccer picture, these family pictures with kids, and maybe his notes, his takes on the Bad News Bears, all this stuff, or even just more family-friendly stuff. That's what he wanted to do. And instead, he did this film that became a success, so, hey, it makes the money, so put my name as a producer. He didn't create the hockey mask. It was in part 3, and that became synonymous with Friday the 13th, so then, with so many people talking to Sean Cunningham about Jason and Friday the 13th, Sean Cunningham didn't have anything to do with that. He directed the first film, where Jason was in it for a minute or less as a kid, mongoloid in a lake. He had nothing to do with the actual Jason fucking Voorhees as the killer, Jason Voorhees with the hockey mask. So Sean Cunningham is given credit for something he didn't really fucking do. Wes Craven created Freddy Krueger, the glove, all that. Tobe Hooper created Leatherface. Sean Cunningham really did not create Jason Voorhees. Especially not the way we know of him today. And that's the only franchise I can think of that did that. Just think about it. Halloween, Michael Myers. The Mask from the first film, Freddy. Hellraiser. Friday the 13th is the only franchise to have done that. Think about it, by part 3, you get the look. that is incredibly unique. And Sean Cunningham didn't do that. So then when you hear that, yeah, take that damn hockey mask out of there, and Jason goes to hell, I buy it. I buy it. And that's why you Sean Cunningham. He tried to do other stuff. Deep Star 6, it was unsuccessful. He tried, and there you go. So that's why I don't put Sean Cunningham on the level of John Carpenter or Toby Hooper or Wes Craven or George Romero. I don't put Sean Cunningham on there. Just to be, even the first Friday the 13th is not the best of the franchise. I'm sorry. To me, it's not. And it seems like most people felt that way too. Like most people say the first Chainsaw Massacre is the best one. Most people say the first Nightmare on Elm Street film is the best one. Or, well, 3 or 4 for me. But you do see a lot of people seeing the first one as well. The first Friday the 13th, most people say the sequels are better. Either they'll say 2 or they'll say 4. Some will say 6, 7, like me. By this point, Tom Matthews and Jeffrey Cook have been caught. Tom Matthews is now back in jail. This little girl scared, and nice reveal of Jason through the window. He's pissed off. Again, this girl didn't do anything bad, and for some reason she disliked the worst death. Again, what the fuck did she do? Piss in his Cheerios without us knowing? Be fucked if I know. And also you gotta realize with slasher films, the heyday of slasher films was from 1980 to 1984. This is 86. Because with slasher films, they came out every fucking week. A lot of times 2 or 3 times a week. So yeah, Friday the 13th was a hit. Then you had Prom Night, you had Terror Train, you had Fade to Black, you had Madman, The Final Terror, Mighty Bloody Valentine, it's just countless fucking stuff, like Graduation Day. And the more people saw, the more they got used to it. And also, some of those movies were shitty. Like, what's that one? Final Exam. Fucking horrible. But a lot of them were good for me. I mean, I like Terror Train. I like Fade to Black. I love My Bloody Valentine. I actually like The Final Terror. Even goofy ones like Silent Madness, which was a 3D slasher film. I even don't mind that one for how some of his goofy charm to it. It's called, I think like Silent Madness. April Fool's Day, which technically it's not a slasher film, but is labeled it. It's technically not because of the story that's told. So it's more of like a mystery, but I love April Fool's Day from '89. I know some person, he was being nice. I mean, he wasn't being rude, but he was saying, oh, you don't like slasher films. I'm like, I love My Bloody Valentine, The Final Terror, Silent Madness. I reviewed pretty much all the Friday the 13th films. So you can't say I dislike slasher films. You give me a list from Fade to Black to what have you. I can name plenty of slasher films I enjoy. Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 4, Scream, Urban Legend, Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. The list goes on and on. But yeah, there are just so many that people just got tired of it, just like everything. Like nowadays, superhero movies. Honestly, now you're not seeing that with box office, but there are sentiments from other people, including me, that they're tired of superhero films and they're tired of comic book movies. Because you overload the market and just like, I just don't care anymore. Even if a film is perfectly decent, you just stop caring. That's why you gotta let it breathe. You gotta let it dwindle. You gotta let it die a little bit. And then come back. So by the time you get into 86, you're seeing a lot less slasher films. You still do a couple. After this, you have Cutting Class. I did technically, well, April Fool's Day technically isn't, but it was labeled that way. But definitely not as much as from 80 to 84. And then when you got to the 90s, people shit on the 90s where it comes to horror films. I love many horror films in the 90s. So I'm one of those few that think horror films of the 90s were actually pretty fucking cool. Because I like Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I like The People Under the Stairs. I like Dr. Diggle's Death Machine, Graveyard Shift, Deep Rising, Event Horizon, Jacob's Ladder, Blair Witch Project, and so forth. Here you go. Where the red dot goes, ya bang. One is belly yellow and one is water. If you're wondering why you keep having like 2 fucking cups. That is why. Where the red dot goes, ya bang. And again, I apologize, I'm not talking a whole lot about the movie specifically, but I mean, in a way, it speaks for itself. I mean, in a good way. Like I said, the director did a nice job filming it. I like the lighting in the film. It definitely has a darker look to it. Again, trying to have that Universal monster like vibe, atmosphere. The actors, I think, do their jobs well for what they had to be. I didn't have almost that Universal maybe it's not specifically for Universal Monster, but that legend mythologies, we gotta, as if they're fighting Dracula, we gotta do something and was something specific to stop this creature of the night. In this case, bring him back to the lake that he drowned when he was a kid. And you know, someone's like, well, who gives a shit that there's kids in the movies? Not like he's going to kill them. Well, think of back in the day when you first seen the film. There's supposed to be that suspense because you haven't seen the film and it's 1986. What if Jason does do something? I mean, they fucking killed kids in sleepaway camp. But anyway. And there's some good lighting as well. The reflection off of Jason's mask and the little girl prays. And I know Tom McLaughlin mentioned there was one thing that was cut out at the end where, the little girl's praying, then she opens her eyes and Jason leaves. But the reason Jason leaves is because he hears someone's coming. And so later on when Tom McLaughlin, why do I say Tom Matthews, when he is supposedly dead, supposedly the little girl prays, and when he is resuscitated, gets the water out of his lungs, she looks up and says thank you. And they made Tom McLaughlin, the director, cut that out because it was, I don't know, too sentimental, too something, I don't know what the fuck. Didn't they let the wall paint wet red? I don't know what the fuck that lady did to deserve Jason's wrath on that, man, but fuck. And no, my commentary is not scene specific, but it's just I've seen throughout the years films like this so many times now. I kind of jumping ahead, behind, and so this is not a screen specific commentary. As in, what I'm talking about might not necessarily be on screen, but I mean, it's sort of me just having a conversation with whoever's listening out there. But that's the way it is. With fucking Ninja Jason. See, it's not a ninja star, but to me it just reminded me of a ninja star. Like, did a fucking show Kazuki on that guy. Revenge of the Ninja Jason. Bow now, 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 now. Down now. Do you imagine if the sheriff opened up the door and just a fucking plethora of dead bodies of kids? That'd be a hell of a change of fucking tone for the movie. And that's the thing, even though people are dying, there's still sort of a fun tone to the film. I know another thing that was supposed to be in this is that Tom McLaughlin had written this thing where you got to know a bit of Jason's father, Elias, I believe. Elias Voorhees. I can understand why that was not done, because that could potentially open up a whole can of worms as to what the fuck. On the flip side, you go, well, he had to have had a dad. So who the fuck is the dad? Where the fuck did the dad go? I mean, if the first film dealt with Jason's mom, what about his dad? So, you would have to think that would come into play somehow, some way. So on the one hand, it made sense, but again, I guess they just didn't want to open up that can of worms. Maybe they thought, well, people may think that he will be the killer, or he's going to go off and kill people, and people didn't like part 5, so they didn't want a repeat of that, or they didn't want people thinking that there could be a repeat of that. I don't know. It's also interesting when you look through the internet and all the potential Friday the 13th films that were never made. For example, the original idea for Friday the 13th Part 3 was to have Amy Steele come back, and she was in a mental asylum or a hospital. I guess it'd be like Halloween 2, where Jason would go into the hospital and start killing people looking for Amy Steele's character. I don't know if you look up Tom McLaughlin, he has an idea for a sequel to his film. A sequel to Friday the 13th Part 6, what he would have done. I forget what it was, though, to be honest. Completely forgot what it was. And just some of the kills you get in this. I mean, you got the squeeze of the guy's head, and a little bit like, which I try. I think there was more to that. If you look at the because technically there is uncut footage. It's just one of those you have to watch separately. And then, the sheriff getting his back broken like a wishbone, turned to a damn wishbone. Definitely an inventive kill. A unique kill. And also showcase that guns don't do shit with Jason. They didn't do jack shit. Jason don't give a fuck about your guns. Which is funny, he shoots him like 18 times and just says, oh fuck it, I'm gonna try to kill him with a rock. But it's supposed to be a desperate measure to save his daughter. And you realize, he's really not that bad of a guy. I mean, he wasn't that bad of a person. But he died a pretty violent death. What the fuck was I talking about before that? I completely forgot. Oh, see the uncut footage. No? I completely forgot what the fuck I was talking about. Oh well, I guess it wasn't important. But yeah, they don't have the father of Jason. Yeah, I guess they didn't want to open up that can of worms. But like I said a while before, it's to the point like, what more can you do with Jason? Like the lawsuit. You have that lawsuit. Like, I don't care, Victor Miller, whoever wins. I've maintained for the longest time, just don't do any more fucking franchises. A lot of these can die. And people get pissed when I say that because they are fans. You're not. Yes, I am a fan. That's why I want them to die. Because the more you dilute, the more it hurts. How many franchises have we seen that get diluted again and again and again? Like, think about that. Alien franchise, if it ended with aliens, think about how strong the public image of that would be. Instead, you get Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, AVP, Prometheus, Alien Covenant. Then Ridley Scott wants to do another one. Why, so he did fail 3 times? I mean, you have Predator, Predator 2, but then you have Predators. You had The Predator. Star Wars, you got The Force Awakens. Then The Last Jedi and The Rise of Shitwalker. Star Trek. Now they have this stupid fucking cartoon called Lord Dix, or whatever the fuck it's called, for Star Trek. Star Trek. What were you going to be when you grew up? See, again, there's some fun bits of levity in this movie that makes it stand apart from others. And you see, like, CJ Graham, he seems to be a bit more in shape compared to the guy who was in the going after the oh my, I can't remember the fucking paintballers. But yeah, just so many franchises. I mean, Halloween. You did Halloween 2018, which all it was, take the old films and redo them again. That's it. Halloween from 2018, I mean, it had the same title. It had the same plot lines of Halloween H2O, a little bit of Halloween 4. Instead of, Jamie's daughter is Jamie's daughter and granddaughter. But then mixed in with H2O, which she's had this thing that happened. She's a bit out of it. Only this, she's more like the fucking cat lady from The Simpsons, with a shitload of guns that can't do shit. Because Michael Myers is still alive, even after a fucking fire, which burned him in Halloween 2. Try to burn him again in this movie. Of course he'll be alive because they're doing a sequel. And then they want to do a third film. Wow, what a big fucking surprise. There's nothing... I said there was nothing more he could do, and I was right. I was fucking right. Like, what the fuck else can you do with the... Like, with Friday 13th, what more can you do? And honestly, what can be done, they do with fan films now. Never Hike Alone, and what they're doing with this new one. There you go. Just have people do that. Don't need... I mean... Well, you see another Friday 13th film, it's either going to be the same thing that you've fucking seen over and over again, or they're going to do something weird and you don't think it's a fucking weird ass or shitty movie, or they don't put CGI blood, or whatever the fuck. I mean, what do you really think they're going to do with the Friday? Unless you just love everything, and you love everything. And if Jason sat there making fucking corn on the cobs, taking a machete, spreading the butter around for 90 minutes on every corn on the cob on the planet, hey, I'm like, well, the fuck more can I say or do or think? To each their own. But yeah, that sheriff, got that wishbone attack. It's like, man, didn't fucking deserve that shit. Of course, Tom Matthews, come on, maggot head, come on, asshole, the speed you want, remember? And trying to... He knew he fucked up. He's gonna be out there on the boat. Come and get me. Gonna chain your ass to the bottom of this fucking lake. Cause he read it in some book. Something about that led to him doing that. Okay. Not that it fucking mattered, cause he came back a couple more times anyway, but it's never over. That's the thing with stories. Stories have to have an ending. That's what people don't understand. What's the point of a story if there's no ending to the story? Okay, you're enjoying the journey, but the journey has to reach some kind of conclusion. But when these movies keep coming, there's never a conclusion. And it just makes it that less interesting to me. Halloween H2O, to me, that ending, whether you liked or disliked the film, I think that ending was perfect. She cuts his head off, Halloween theme plays, that's it. Jason goes to hell. Jason went to hell. There's Freddy Krueger's glove. There you go. Although again, I like Jason X for what it is, to be fair. The stuff underwater looks pretty cool. I mean, for the low budget that they had, and Jennifer Cook coming out and fucking up Jason in the neck, and not killing off Tom Matthews. I like the actor. I thought he did a good job playing Tommy Jarvis. Him trying to get his to repent for his sins. He realized he fucked up and he almost gave his life for this. At least that was something. So that was nice. And like I said, worked out for the best. And I mean, the movie's coming to a close anyway. Pretty much gets him in the lake. Come on, Mediehead. Fuck you. Blah, 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 blah. And, you know, the movie's gonna be over. So, I'll probably cut it short only because I kind of said what all I had to say. I don't want to repeat myself over and over again and bore people. Too late for that, right? I will say Friday the 13th Part 6, what makes it work as a sequel was that it tried to do something different, but it wasn't totally making fun of Friday the 13th, but it had a lot of clever gags, whether it be the James Bond opening or self-referential ideas, like the, you know, what were you going to be when you grew up? When one kid says to another, or some folks have a strange taste in entertainment. And some of the kills are fun. Characters are likable. Alice Cooper is always a plus. He's bad. The man behind the mask. C.J. Graham did a good job playing Jason. I don't have a lot of true issues with the film. It works at what it's supposed to be, and then some. Like Tom McLaughlin did a good job. I like the Universal horror monster vibe he gives to the lighting and the look, the photography of the film, with the way that the woods and the camp look. You know, that up close shot of Jason's eye, and then you have the he's back. Like, even the song says, hey guys, we know you don't like part 5. He's back. Okay? Even the fucking song says he's back. So ease up. And he's still alive. So stick with us, please. You know, Paramount was tired of making these movies because they were tired of getting shit on by critics and being made fun of. But if it made money, bullshit walks. But, yeah. Fun film. Entertaining film. Good sequel. So thanks once again, Vonte. Thanks once again, you guys, for watching. Take care, and we will see you guys in the next video. Later.